Blessed love, this is Rashala representing for the Lion's Voice. Seeing? Yeah, man. Keep it locked right here, sir. On to Zion we go. Lion voice don't move slow, no. Rastafari rules and reigns, and we're going where the blessings flow. Keep it locked right here, sir. Seeing? Rashala said that. Lion's Voice.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
African pride, root of all nations, boy. I tried with the lion, the Rastafari. Lion of it tried with lioness like I do. Empress on the front line, we need you. Well, this is Medicine, the steady one, and you are now tuned in to the Lion's Voice Network. What the lion forward for do? Scorch them. Roast and parch them.
You understand me? And sometimes them go up on the hillside, sometimes a sergeant or a lieutenant or whoever will come talk to it. And we make them know, say, we're born in the bush, we ain't starting no fires out here. Look and see. Say, we clear with nothing in here, we're going to catch fire. And we're there, so, you know, and thing. So every year, even though that, every year is a different lieutenant or sergeant come check and we deal with it. And it's like, you know, like you said, the firehouse. Enough man used to lick out against Babylon and things like that. And then remember 1 year in particular, this policeman come and him get a fire extinguisher from him truck or him car or wherever him coming up. And him come over to the fire in a Rasta and take the hose for the extinguisher and point it on the fire and go, and the fire just blaze up and every man on the hillside say, fire! Right, you never see a Rasta, never see a policeman move so fast.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. King of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's rightful ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hail them high, hail the black king, born the 23rd of July. So tell them guy, who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time, them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go to tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at you.
Again, this brethren, I don't even remember where I meet the brethren, when I meet the brethren. But I can tell you, I have a music video. I shoot a couple music video. The first music video I ever shot, I was watching it the other day. I'm looking at the crowd, I'm see Binghi Glen. I'm say from them time there, that was 2012. You know what I mean? And by the time Binghi Glen coming at that music video, I know him long time, so I don't know when I meet the brethren or how, you know what I mean? So we give thanks, you know, when we can bring brethren on the platform. So please, family, help to welcome warm Lion Pride welcome to Ras Binghi Glen. Isis.
Aye.
Selassie the first. How's everything, man?
Oh, giving thanks for life, Rasta. You know?
Yeah.
Yes. So first of all, we say glory to word, glory to sound, glory to the power of Kadamawa Isle Selassie the first, who is our strength and our redeemer. Greetings to Lion Pride. Special big up the Jasmine Kwasi. And you know, salute the item, knowing that this is the Iowa, what them call African History Iowa, you know.
Yes.
And we know say African History Iowa supposed to be every day of the year. Saying, however, we give thanks for the opportunity to learn things, new things that we never knew about from our people, things that we have accomplished, things that we bring forward, things to mind that we probably sometimes take for granted, you know. Yeah, so we do give thanks. All right, Rasta. So I am Binghi Glen, see?
Hold on. Stick up in. Come, I have to set it up now. I have to set it up because we had Binghi Glen on the platform, but we didn't get to step into the Lion Talk time machine. You know, I like to put like a spice on the thing, you know what I mean? So we're gonna ask the eye to step into the Lion voice time machine and to take us to the moment of the eye birth, where the eye was born, the eye journey to America, you know, give us the full origin story of Binghi Glen.
Yeah, born in Kingston, Jamaica. Did I say Kingston? Sorry, born in Ocherius, Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, and after high school, I'm on trot out to America.
Which high school? Which high school did I go?
Country school,
You know that you know Jamaicans have them high school pride. I never go school at Jamaica, so but people like to know where a man go school. Where did I go high school?
Yeah, Castle,
Okay.
Brownstown, St. Ann, you know.
Okay. My grandfather's from Brownstown, you know. Big up all the Brownstown family. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big thanks.
So I'm on graduate school around about 73 and put on my natty right away.
Okay.
I have 9 siblings, 10 of us in all.
Okay.
For a powerful little mama and dada there, you know. And my mother had left out for America, seeking to see how she could help to, you know, strengthen the family.
Okay. So did I come from an upper class, working class family in Jamaica before we even get to America? What was it like growing up as a child?
Well, like I said, it was 10 of us. So we weren't suffering. And we never lived in the ghetto. We in the country, in a Ochi. Place very healthy, peaceful. Lot of fruits and so forth. We had a piece of property around a place that we call Bull Rock. And you know, and I used to run up and down the hillside and, you know, trot up in the plantations, you know, in the back. Sometimes seating up there by myself, and, you know, I'm on daydream and look out on the blue oceans right there in front. You know, it was a really nice upbringing. Like I said, we had our struggles financially, but it wasn't because we were poor, you know. My father was a musician, actually.
Okay.
And in those days, it wasn't even calypso. It was before calypso. Them call it minto.
Yes.
Yeah. So he, that's how he supported his family, you know. And my mother used to deal with some, you know, commercial thing like hairdressing and them sort of thing. But she got the opportunity to travel to America, and she took it. So by the time I graduated from school, she already was in America. And then I put on my natty right away. Saying, couldn't wait. With the high school, Ford Farm, I come up the line. Well, want to do it them time there, but, you know, we had to just humble and wait our time. So, in 74, as I put on my natty now, I found this out afterwards. My brothers and sisters called my mother and tell her, I said, listen, you have to get Glenn out of here and get caught up in the Rasta thing. So, you know, they should buy me a ticket, and nobody listened to me near this later on, you know. I was one of the first ones to come up to the United States. And you know, the whole idea was to rescue me from Rastafari.
Okay.
That was a very wrong move, Rasta.
Wrong move.
Because you know, when I come up and I deal with my elders, they always spoke about His Majesty. They always spoke about Africa. They always spoke about you know, releasing ourselves from the chains of oppression and standing up for poor people. See? And spoke about the crowning of His Majesty, you know, and the prophecies that are linked to it. So I had all of that inside of me already. But brethren, like I say, it's a wrong move. When I come to America and I start going to the library, them over, because the first thing we do is start look for library and start to expose to all kind of books. To discover some books on His Majesty and His Majesty's utterances. I say, oh my gosh. And none of my elders, them never see them book yet, you know, Rasta, but you can't tell them nothing, you know, them are diehard Rasta man, Haile Selassie is the Almighty, but them never have access to that.
Yes.
So when we come up here and experience that, it was really a boost. There was no turning back, you know.
Yes.
One day I sit down with my mother and I talk to her and I say, Rastafari is my calling, you know, see. And make up our mind, say, no, this is how the liberty going go. And my mother looked at me and say, you know, son, when you were a little boy, a car ran over you. And we thought you were dead.
Right.
And you got up. As a matter of fact, them, you know, everybody go to buy ice cream, you know. And I'm one of the smallest one at the time, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I was the smallest one at the time. Still a toddler. Everybody run out for buy ice cream and forget about Glen. And we run out after everyone. And when we cross the road now, but I know Rasta must hear tire screech. And I don't remember nothing else, but them tell me, everybody says, we're Glen there. And start look for me. Couldn't find me. Then someone said, check in the house, and I'm going inside. I'm saying, come find me, sit down, well frightened, you know. And so from that, she said, all right, now, and she knows that God saved me for a reason, you know. And so she said, if you feel that's your calling, go ahead, son. So it felt good to know that my mother supported her, even though I know my brother and sister them weren't supporting me, and my father wasn't supporting me either, you know. So I came up here and started reading upon His Majesty and the things that He did for Ethiopia, His words of wisdom to the youths, you know, and to the ones who were just coming. They didn't have a constitution, and how He gave Ethiopia's first constitution. And that was so amazing to I, because I wonder, how could a monarch, someone who born into anciencies of, you know, this monarchy, and come up and get all this power, see, and all this glory and, you know, monetary wealth and everything like that, turn around and give the people a constitution, give both man and woman the right to go to college and learn. You understand me? And these things were, you know, I was amazed that, you know, saying this is unheard of. It is unheard of.
Yes.
You see? Yeah, no monarch do that. You always have to kick them out of office and slew them or whatever. You understand me? And His Majesty did that. He could have put one of His children on the throne, and He chose not to. All these things I observe, and I say, wow. And I just grow and I learn, see? And then I was invited to Brooklyn one time and run up in some EWF man. Okay. And, you know, them start black certain sound about EWF. And then some of the version them say, boy, I want to beat some Nyahbinghi drums in the park, because of the EWF man, them are Nyahbinghi still, you know. But we never have no Nyahbinghi house. We never had no drums or nothing. But one version had a set of drum anyway. And so I and I
What
start
year? What
going
year are we
across.
talking about? What year are we talking about?
We're talking about 80, not 80, sorry, 76. I was about to say
Okay.
86, about 76,
Okay. See.
75, 76. And so I and I start going in Prospect Park and chant some Isis. You know, I for one didn't know all of the chant there, you understand me? And
Mhm.
thing, but it's like from my experience. I should have also mentioned that um, I went to Brown's Community College in 1976. And
Yes.
that I used to live in that library, you know. And
Okay.
then after that, now start rally with some other Rastaman on the campus, and we usually go in a gates. I can't remember exactly where the gates was. It was a herb gates, but the Virgin was a serious Rastaman, and so we usually go over there and chant Isis, you know, and yeah, chant Isis, and I can declare to that him now. Well, at the time, I was young in the movement, and I knew all the history of His Majesty. I come America and I read his teachings, his words, um, and seen his examples and so forth. And I could debate with anyone based on the knowledge that I got from my elders in
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica. I could hold a debate with anyone and win the debate, say, yes, you know, Haile Selassie is the Almighty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, though, is that between me and the item, as much ones on the platform, I always used to say to myself in those early days, you know, yeah, I believe Haile Selassie is the Almighty, but do I know that? So I had to search within myself. So this time now, up at the herb gates there, we are learning how to beat the drum, the man thing. I remember start communicate with His Majesty. I'm not tell nobody, I just start fast
Yes.
and I chant, see it. Sometimes one day into the next. And I ask His Majesty to say, reveal yourself to me, man. I have to know this. It's not a belief, nothing. No, I know this.
Yes.
And I tell you, His Majesty reveal himself to me, Rasta. It was like something just hit me. I said, Rastafari. See, and from that experience that day, Rasta, that was it. I don't need nobody to lead. I don't need nobody. I just know say it's true, and from that point, I just developed my relationship with Haile Selassie the first. See, everywhere I'm going with every decision I have to make, I ask him to guide me. You understand me? Everything that I do, I was very an industrious type person doing things, but everything that I do, as much as I may have knowledge and know what I'm doing, I still want him to guide me. So that relationship I built with I God and King from them time there.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, when we go Prospect Park and we start chart Bingi's up in Prospect Park, it was really mostly July 23rd because the weather was warm. It was conducive back, we think back to all the other different days, the weather was unpredictable. All the other days that I would want to celebrate, I did celebrate. But we knew that July 23rd every year we're going to Prospect Park. Needless to say, Babylon started giving a fight. We never went to the Parks Department people and spoke to them and said, yeah, we want access to it. Because Babylon, them time the man just militant. Like the I say, it's a firehouse. You understand me?
Yeah, man.
And if you ever bring up talk about, go deal with Parks Department, man, burn you out, man. Yeah, see. So it was a big drama every year. The drama.
Yes.
We go in at the park and, we are
Back
chanting.
Back up field. You say you go there, it's like a back field. You have
man. And every year, the boy them come on the hill, them bring a fire truck and a whole heap of car. A create hope excitement. You understand me? And sometimes them go up on the hillside, sometimes a sergeant or a lieutenant or whoever will come talk to it. And we make them know, say, we're born in the bush, we ain't starting no fires out here. Look and see. Say, we clear with nothing in here, we're going to catch fire. And we're there, so, and thing. So every year, even though that, every year is a different lieutenant or sergeant come check and we deal with it. And it's like, you know, like you said, the firehouse. Enough man used to lick out against Babylon and things like that. And then remember one year in particular, this policeman come and him get a fire extinguisher from him truck or him car or wherever him coming up. And him come over to the fire in a Rasta and take the hose for the extinguisher and point it on the fire and go, and the fire just blaze up and every man on the hillside say, fire! Right, you never see a Rasta, never see a policeman move so fast. The man jump in a vehicle and before me know it, all of them run off of the hillside. See? But
legendary. These are legends. It's important that we block them some because people don't know sometimes the fire in foreign.
Yeah, man.
Go through, you know what I mean?
True.
Especially in these places where we have law enforcement. Because we go through that in DC already, you know, where we are chanted Zion Hill and fireman come and them see them coming out the woods and see big judgment fire and you know what I mean? And we have a black sound and them leave, you know. So these are the things you know, for the international family you have to know as Rastafari that Rastafari has gone through now through the maturity of the trad. As you said, I know you're reaching there now. You realize that we have sistering, we have children. We don't have to deal with this every year where we going back and forth and it's unpredictable. So ones decide now if we formalize the process. But I just want the ones that know the fervor, you know what I mean? Of
yeah,
these
man.
How it rise up in foreign because sometimes people don't realize that Nyahbinghi go through them judgment there in the heart of Babylon. Continue.
All right, let me deal with it. Yes, I. So Kwasi, eventually we reason amongst ourselves and we say, you know what, we have our children coming up here, we have our women coming up here, and every year is just a problem. We cannot park up here. We you know, we're doing this for too long. We need to approach the Parks Department. So we did. We approached the Parks Department and them know to listen. And now you already know our history. Every year, without doubt, they had them come and look and then send police and fire department. So you know what it is. Right now, we need to make it official. You have to put it on your calendar of events for the year. See? So them Rastaman are come chant Binghi. You understand me? And the woman agree. You know, and so that is how it became consistent. You know, now we no longer have that excitement with them, you know.
But all of the ones them in Old York who were part of those early days, because I know it was a strong community in those days, you know.
Man.
Yeah, man. A lot of ones and people have to know that as well. And we always admired Old York for the strength because you had so many races in those times, you know, that were functioning, you know what I mean? So we just have to big up the ones from them early.
Yeah, man. We used to have people coming in from Canada, Jamaica, all different parts of the United States, Europe sometimes, different states in Canada, and I mean in a Connecticut, and you know, as they had them know over the years. So most ones knew of this gathering place for Rastafari every day, or give Isis unto Haile Selassie first. See? And so ones would come with their tents and their chairs and you know them food. And I used to make sure we provide food. I remember I used to take my car and drive up and down for firewood, then go down to the market, go buy food. You understand me? I was from day one, from the Binghi set up.
Yes.
You know, see it. I man make myself available. You know, see it. And we go out and we buy the things and we come. We have the sistering there. We always had enough sistering around, giving us strength for prepare the food and things like that and serve it and so forth. It was really an isle of full time, Rasta. There's nothing like coming up on the hillside. And look, the whole hillside, all I can see is tents where Rasta people come. You understand me? And we're talking about at least 2-3 days of ISIS. You know? Yeah. And we had events for the children. in every evening, we would have things for the children, and then we go into ISIS another night and seal up. We make sure we have seal up reasoning, and we talk about whatever we may have had to deal with that particular year, and then we talk about the future and certain planning that have to take place for the years to come, for the next year, I should say, and so forth. So those were some islandful days, really. And then now, in 87, a brethren named Rasuro. If Rasuro was with us now, he would have definitely been in the 90s, I think.
Okay.
And Suro owned a building. And we approach him and say, wow, we can use a basement. And him say, yeah. So him promised I and I the basement. It was like 7 of I and I together.
Mm-hmm.
Him promised I and I the basement. And so we start making plans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had a couple of gatherings at first. By this time now we get our next sound. So there's a number of things start happen right around that time where you say, a delegation for come from Jamaica. I would say, wow. And so, it was really being organized through Washington, D.C., because I know the house at D.C. strong, yeah. And I don't even look upon it separately. To me, as far as I'm concerned, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland is like a oneness. That's how I look upon it, So they organized it, sistering and brethren, and I must point this out that most of these ones were graduates of university down in them area there. And so they had contacts and they had the intelligence to approach and deal with people to get things done.
Man, like Ross Abraham. I have to get Ross Abraham on the platform. We have to get this history.
Yes. Yes, you have to get that version there, Ross.
Yeah,
okay. I know Ross Sydney, him having problem with his eyes. I don't know how available he is, but him having problems with his eyes now.
I forget Ross Sydney too, as you said that.
Yeah.
Big up yourself, Ross Sydney, because I know Ross Sydney probably watch this too. So may I come look for the eye. May I come look for the eye, Ross Sydney. Because you just spark a thing. No, seriously. We're doing this work and part of it is a document, but I think that 88 chad, we really have to start to document, because I'm a product. I'm one of the fruits of that chad, So and for those who don't know what we're talking about, this was organized by the Smithsonian, Nana Faraika. Jake told me I could reach out to Nana Faraika. She was the link between the local community here and the Jamaica Binghi House and the elders, At that time, Nana Faraika was living in California, and ones like Ross Abraham. These are all Howard alumni too. Enough of them did go Howard. So Howard has a very strong history in the Rastafari movement. We have to
most definitely, yeah.
So you had ones like Ross Abraham and others, Ross Michael. These were the young fire lions who were there now. A whole Binghi Carlton. I don't know. There was a whole portion of them, and I forget all of them on this platform.
Yeah, man. That's
to tell their story, because you're touching on something that's very key, crucial, and not me just a thing say, yes, we need to get on that.
Yes.
We can't take for granted.
I endorse that, Rasta.
Yeah, man.
If Ross Sydney listen, big up Ross Sydney, Yeah.
Yeah, man. But continue.
Yeah. So I remember in 1992, but before we get to 1992, we had that first delegation come in. And in that delegation, we had Ras Ivy, young, fresh, green, and shining. You understand me? And Ras Ivy, see it. We have some video upon them, Rasta. Maybe I can share them with the eye at some point. I have to go dust them off and things.
And Mama Faraika has been asking her if you have time, for any everything from that time. So please share them, because I would love
I
to
will. Yeah,
take
she
them to
need that.
her.
She need that to refresh her. You know.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to
Mm.
take them things there, and I know she would get so much joy watching that, So
Yes,
when I have a chance.
Yes, I definitely search them out. Yeah. Yeah. So at that first trad we had, let me say, I-Vi, Ras I-V, Bongo Joe, um, um, what the hell them amongst the them fell like a while again? Sydney personally little of that. What's name?
Who's that? Raspido?
Pido, yes, Ras Pido, Bongo Bigger, that initiative. So yeah. So after that time,
What year are we in now? Just so we can
oh
keep the
gosh,
timeline.
we in about 1990 now.
Okay.
I do apologize. I tried to contact some brethren to see if they had the dates written down, but I think we kind of dropped the ball when it comes to that. We don't have the exact dates. Okay, we have approximations. And then yeah. So during that time, Bongo Watto came as Bona G's, and spent a lot of time with him, and then I went with him with the delegation when they went down to Florida, and we had another conference down there, Rastafari conference, And that conference, it was Sister Desta who had organized that particular conference.
Okay, big up
Yeah.
Mama Desta.
Yeah. So, and over those years now, we used to make many trips down to Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Come and wash out and ball till less and and we was there them had a grounds with them always keep Binghi. What's the name of that place?
Wilmer's Park.
Yes. And one thing I can tell you them, every July 23rd we get a little shower, Sometimes it's a little bit, or it's a lot, but we always get some showers. You understand me? Yeah. So those were the days, and then we start grounds with the man them at DC more and things like that, Anyway, a new set of man start come to the Binghi House as well as the Prospect Park. And things kind of got, I'll tell you, in those days, everybody did fiery.
Yeah, man.
But to me, the order was loose. See, a lot of ones who come into the house didn't really have a history. The guidelines and so that we set right now, saying we weren't as tightly following that guidelines. See, we weren't, for instance, saying, okay, this is the criteria for that position and that is the criteria. No, we used to just know based on man we come a Binghi and that we know them will get appointed, see, to certain things. See? So like we'd have a treasurer, we'd have a one who is the lead priest. See, we have a secretary. At one point it was priest firm Selassie was the elect of records. See? And I was the elect of records at one point. Okay. I remember when Bongo Time came down to the house, and at this particular week strong, I never really expected. No one ever called I and say, expect this, I expect that. All I know will come a Binghi. And when we're in the Binghi, the jazz match, I man see Bongo Time get up and say, right now, him going to appoint some man to position. And if I was to tell you, I remember everyone who got appointed, I would be misrepresented. I do remember though that he said priest firm Selassie should be the priest. And him say, Binghi Glen, you should be the elect of throne. And it catch me off balance. And then him say, come, this is your inauguration. And the man go into the scriptures and start to read off some scriptures. And the more the man read and have I repeat it, it's like it start really down upon me, the responsibility and the importance of it. Never forget that, Bongo Time. See? And we went on, but there were ones who were jealous, so to speak. So it was a constant struggle back and forth. And then the struggle would end up in Prospect Park. You understand me? We're ones vying for position and all of this stuff. Like I said, things was loose. We didn't ever pick up the guidelines and say, well, the guidelines is what said this and the guidelines is what said that. You understand me? Yeah.
There were no 7 priests. There was all of those things was not implemented.
No, it was not being implemented. You understand me? And because it got so chaotic, Rasta, we would have meetings and agree upon certain things. And by the time we come back to the next meeting, the man who will read the minutes is like, I said, what meeting was that? Because that is not what we spoke about the last time. That's not what we all agreed upon. And this went on for a while. So I say, something, man start say, a Binghi Glen had a problem. See, just a few voices still, but it was enough. And I myself had been through a lot with that. You understand me? I can tell you that I used to pack up my youth and wifey and bring her down there. See, and I do recall my youths them at one point was saying, say, why the man them go on so? And I'm saying, you know something, this is having a bad effect on my future, meaning my children, you know? And so I had to rethink it. And so after a while, with Prospect Park especially, I backed off. All that I used to do with the park as far as making sure so everything's set up, donating certain funds for the things, all the preparations involved that I was a part of, and I stepped away. I say, all right, since Binghi Glen is the problem, Binghi Glen is not here any longer, everything should prosper. And that wasn't quite how it went. And, I don't say these things to put nobody down or to big up myself or anything, see? But from them time there, the thing never come together. Instead, you have certain individuals actually took this as an opportunity to branch off and start doing their own thing. And there were certain times when the houses would all come together and deal with a celebration, which is usually the July 23rd, when everyone come in the park. But otherwise, you have this set of man deal with this, that set of man deal with that and thing. See?
So there was a split because I always heard about the Halsley Binghi House, and then I think I visited Halsley, but I never chanted at Halsley. I know the Nostran Binghi House, you know what I mean? So by the time Nostran, I think Halsley wasn't active at that time.
Yeah, no, we had lost the place, We had lost the place.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bongo Soro was him to go do a time,
Okay.
And then his sister was the one who was taking care of the thing, and it come in like said the man them wasn't dealing with her respectfully, and so she was like she don't want the house to be there any longer. So we eventually we lost the house,
Okay.
And between that happening and me stepping away from Prospect Park, so we're looking at like now about the early 2000s.
Yes.
And we will come up in the 2000. Mama Bubbles, who was more down in the DC area.
Yes.
She was having certain challenges, and so we were called upon. At that point, we had started. I remember approaching the it was the and tell us, say, listen, the jazz match. We would like to use the item platform, the IDOR.
Yes.
International Development of Rastafari.
Universal Development.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So we asked to use the platform for that first meeting. And at the time, we didn't call ourselves Tron. We say Concerned Families of Rastafari.
Yes.
Okay. And we dealt with Mama Bubble's situation. We collected funds for her. We find a place for her to stay. We paid the rent. And I should point out that Mama Bubbles, it wasn't like she was just sitting around waiting to be taken care of. She had cancer,
Yes.
And so we did everything we could with all the funds that were coming in. Sister Akua was very active in Tron at the time.
Big up, yeah, man.
And
big up, Sister Akua, Sister
big up
Ina.
every time.
Still doing that same work too now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So she had she had taken up certain responsibilities as far as Mama Bubbles was concerned, and I did so. And then also we had a team of sisters. Some of them were nurses, like Sister Dama was very active in that time. Sister Tasha, and these ones, And so Sister Data Aini as well,
Yeah,
so they are the ones who were taking care, seeing to the details of taking care of Mama Bubbles. And I were more dealing with handling the funds, making sure it go in the account, make sure that every time money is to be taken out, that it's set certain ways so it would be accounted for. There wouldn't be no mix-up. And you know, we everything was going good till Mama Bubbles just one day with us here said she, you know, she wasn't around no more. And so the daughters up here in New York, they rallied around and they went and took care of her, you know, like Sister Tasha, you know, and Sister Aini, and some other daughters, I don't call them name, my Sister Idama, and, you know, these other ones. And, you know, they prepared her temple, you know, for the journey forward to Jamaica.
Yes.
And then we, you know, set everything up, you know, for the what them call the funeral home down in Jamaica, paid them off, you know, make sure everything was in place and shipped her temple down to Jamaica.
Mighty community effort, mighty work.
Yes, we handled the actual funeral procedure and all of that. At that time, we never have a Ras Ivi if we, you know, do the ceremonies of the final rites, you know. But whatever the case was, we made sure it was all taken care of. And the remaining funds that was there was turned over to Mama Bubbles' children, Vince and the others. Okay.
Yes,
and
big up Rasmaka, who's now an ancestor as well, Rasmaka.
Yes,
big up Ras Zulu, Ras Sister Kamala, all of the grand youths, them still are hold it, you know.
Yes,
yeah, man, I remember those were very trying times. For those who don't know, Mama Bubbles is the voice on the Rastafari Elder CD, the female voice, an angelic chanter, you know. To be in a Isis with Mama Bubbles is an otherworldly experience, you know. When Mama Bubbles get her nice high grade and she settle in, you know what I mean, she come down with a spliff big like your head top, you know what I mean? And she, you know, because she the real small spliff. You know? And she start chant, my brethren and my sister. It's an otherworldly experience. What you heard on the Rastafari CD is not, you know, we know, those who know, the Rastafari CD don't do it no justice. You know what I mean?
No, sir.
Even though that Irie, and we give thanks that they had the foresight to record it.
Man, we had some sweet bingy with her, man. With the entire delegations from those times. I wish we had started recording, Kwasi. I wish we had started recording at that time, because some sweet eyes is right up and they were never recorded.
Otherworldly. That's why I say otherworldly. I mean, you think the angels of Zion, you know, you really see the whole thing, you know, the beginning before the primordial light come in, you know what I mean? You see the throne, rainbow circle throne and all these things. So it really, you know, but we learn. And I think for those of us who live that, you know what I mean, it stays with us, and we have a duty to share the testimony with future generation. That's why I'm glad they are sharing. But yes, that Mama Bubbles work was a mighty work.
Yes, that was the first initiative of Tran Global, you know.
Yes, sir.
And we did quite a few after that. You know, there was an ex-sister who had lost her. Well, before even that, ESP McPherson.
Yes.
In about 2012, him trod on, you know.
Yes.
And I had to rise to the occasion again and collect money and give it to his wife for the interment, you know. So it was just one thing after the other. And then 2013 come, and that was when we hear this talk about Sizzler is the president of Rastafari and the Nyahbinghi Ancient Council, you know. And I was like, shocked me to hear them talk here, you know. So we had, at that point, we had to take a little break from the conference call platform, but that brings us forward to the table. And we say, you know, something, we'll just keep this platform going from that point, you know. See, we put together a letter on the New York letterhead and sent it down to Jamaica I'm not sure who exactly read it, but when it was read, it was like, who them foreign Rasta. Think about that, Aya. The man them don't have the vision because them in them own little bubble in a Rasta and don't realize what the ancients had done, the mission they had taken up to carry this Nyahbinghi Order out of Jamaica to the four corners of the earth. See? So them going to look and talk about foreign Rasta. See? Them not ready yet. I tell you, them not ready yet. See? And yeah, so it was a thing from that. Now, when after the Sizzler thing, I would send a letter to Jamaica. After that, we say, yeah, we're going to continue with this. And so the platform at that point was mostly Binghi people. When we make an assessment, we realize that we ask the question, who were these elders who were supporting Sizzler at the time? And most of the elders who were supporting Sizzler was unfortunately Nyahbinghi elders. And I felt very ashamed to know that. So I had to do some further checking into it and realize that, guess what? We have a creed, and our creed said, the hungry be fed, the naked clothed, the sick nourished, the aged protected, and the infants cared for. Second to last one, the ancients protected. See? Now, a lot of the ancients who, from my understanding, were in support of this whole fiasco down there were elders who had certain needs that weren't being taken care of, and the house, for whatever reason, for the most part, because of financial situation, lack of finances, were not able to take care of them, or the effort was not made. Everyone was caught up in their own individual domestic vibes and trying to feed their own families and so forth. It was very hard. So I don't point no finger at no one, but I can tell you the fact that is that these elders were neglected, so to speak. And so it was easy for them to become prey. You know, they would have needs, and ones would offer them to help them, to get them money to go to the doctor, sometimes money for buy food if they don't have food, money for pay for your doctor's appointment, these sort of things, you know. And I personally do give thanks for what these things that were done for them. But if it is what I heard, that they were, it's like you do something for somebody, I know you're calling the favor for what you do. I can't support that, see? But at the end of the day, it's I and I who had not been taking care of the elders that these things could be like that. So and I agreed that, you know, from that point onward, the platform would be a Nyahbinghi platform because most of the one present were Nyahbinghi. And so that's how Tron really established in the early days. I remember we went to when Nana Farai, because I mentioned her, she was going to South Africa for the diaspora conference. And I assisted in her sponsorship and also gave her a letter, asked her to take it down there and see if she could get it read to the gathering and so forth. You know, those were great works. I'm so honored to have been a part of that.
Yes, and that was also the birth of Dark.
See,
from that child.
Yeah. So yeah, so that is the way things was. And after that, the platform, after it became dedicated to the Nyahbinghi Order, the second thing we had to make it clear, we all reasoned about it and agreed to it, that as we adopt the name Tron is the acronym for Theocracy Reign Order of the Nyahbinghi, saying that I is not a Binghi house. I remember one time, them used to have a thing around and say, Binghi Glen have a, what them call it, a cyberspace Binghi house. And it was so funny. I remember crack up Rasta here, man, I talk foolishness. You know, but we agreed at that time that we had to be grounded in the original, the foundation of I&I Liberty, which is Jamaica. You understand me? And as such, since Ras Ivi was always a part of the platform already, IRV was also a part of the platform. Sister Mitzi was a part of the platform. See, we kept close ties with them. And when there was problems down there in Jamaica, we would always think about them and try to find some way to assist. As a matter of fact, wherever in the world, around the entire globe, that there was a problem, a Nyahbinghi House problem, we would assist them. Sometimes we would write a letter to the government or whatever powers that be who could address the situation, just to make them know that the world is watching. You understand me? So these are the sort of initiatives that we're taking on. In the meantime, we had, families in Jamaica who were still struggling here and there. There's another sister who had lost a youth, and if Rasaiba was here, he could have given her the names and remind her even some more of the initiatives that I had taken on.
But a lot of humanitarian work was being done quietly. Yes,
very,
and it's important to emphasize that it wasn't just Jamaica Nyahbinghi House participating, but you had representation from the different islands, which was never before done.
Well said. Okay, and what we did was we started taking assessment from time to time. What we're finding is that most of the things that I and I were doing was in response to things that took place. That's how it usually was. It was a more reactionary type of approach.
Yes.
And so as soon as we start dealing with one thing, something else would happen, and then we have to do another fundraiser or go in our pocket and try to find our funds to deal with things. But from 2011, that is the work of Tron till now. And, we then, after we talk about these things and we make a decision, let's stop reacting. Let's be proactive. See? So we started doing fundraisers. We had a good treasurer at the time, who's Rasai Mande. He's originally from Trinidad. And he would make sure that the money was very tight to get him to let off any money for anything. It have to come good and hold on to the money tight. Nobody couldn't come whisper in him and say, give money for this and give money. No. As a matter of fact, he used to take funds from our treasury and invest it and turn it over and put it forward into Tron. Okay? Them brethren there with us really treasure them, the work that they have done in the past for I and I. And so we started being proactive. One of the first things we did was we went ahead and we said, let's, the ancients, the elders in Jamaica, that's the location that have the oldest ancients. So we want to see what we can do to preserve them. So we got some nutritional supplements and also some clothing, and we sent them down to Jamaica and, disseminated them amongst the ancients down there. And then after that, we did some other little things, but people started, getting weary. See, but the next serious initiative that we took on was the guidelines, because I started meditating on the whole thing and see the confusion all over. Don't think it's the United States alone was having a problem. You understand me? We were having problems in Jamaica. We was having problems in the UK. We were having problems in South Africa. Everywhere you go, there was problems. And I came to the understanding that, look, we are really neglecting the secular parts of our lives. See? Our spiritual solid, it's firm, and a solid rock. But the secular part of our liberty was being neglected. Okay? And sometimes it's not because we purposely neglect it. Sometimes we lack the skill sets to deal with certain things. You understand me? And it's hard sometimes with people who have the skill sets and come amongst I and I to do it. Them get fireborn. You understand me? So, you know, it is important for I and I to recognize the importance of education. And we're going to go forward to His Majesty again. I will always return to His Majesty, you know, because what I'm telling you, I'm say education. See it? And it make we know say it's not just that we're going out there to get educated in technology, you know, science, mathematics, and you know, but that we also recognize that we have to be grounded as Ethiopians. A good example, students, the best students that he had in Ethiopia, he sent them abroad to study. And he warned them and he told them, don't go over there and adapt these people way of life. We have a unique liberty in Ethiopia. You go over there and just get the basics. And as you're getting the basic, you start thinking about how you can use your knowledge from what you learn to bring that forward to Ethiopia and strengthen the foundation of what Ethiopia is about. See? So I look in the Nyahbinghi Order and I say, and it's not just the Nyahbinghi Order, most of the mansions of Rastafari is plagued with ones who don't have the proper education to deal with it. We even hear some of the ignorance, like man call it telecation and them thing there. Now I overs that, yeah, you can get an education and use it for the wrong things. You understand me? But if you're grounded, if you're moored to our liberty and to His Majesty and His examples and His teachings, we're good. See it? And so I observed and saw what was going on and recognized the need for us to get grounded in education. And so I thought about it and I spoke to Ras Ivy about it as well. And I told him, you know, something is chaotic all over. It's supposed to be an order, but it's pure disorder. It's the truth. You have to accept the truth. It's supposed to be a Nyahbinghi order. It's supposed to be an order, but it's just pure confusion. We have the things so loose that anybody can come off of the road and come in and have access to our elders and ancients, okay, and try to influence the movement. You know, at the time it was still a movement, you know. So now we are saying, no, we're not just a movement now. We are now a nation of people, 3-4 generations deep. See? So like my elders would have children. And even though I was not birthed from one of those elders, I'm still their child because I got the teachings from them. Mm-hmm. Then I have children, I pass it on to them as well. Mm-hmm. You understand me? And then they now supposed to, they are big people now, a lot of them big people. Mm-hmm. And they now must now take up the mantle and pass it on to the next generation. But these things not going to happen by itself. See? We are an island of a spirituality in a sea of pagan beliefs. So trust me, if you have your children in a system here in America or in Jamaica or wherever, a good 8 to 10 hours is being spent in this Babylon system that detests us, that disenfranchise I and I, that violate our human rights and our civil rights. See? So we now have to understand, say we have to deal with our secular part of our liberty. We have to organize and centralize. See? And when I look, I see everyone have the guidelines, but what they're using the guidelines for is just mainly to know, yeah, we don't eat flesh, we don't drink alcohol, we don't commit certain fornications and them sort of thing there. We keep one empress, and these were the basic things we were going by. But there's so much more. The need is there. We have evolved now into a nation of people, so we have to start thinking like that. Where are children getting their education from? Or what are we doing to what are we doing to enhance what they're learning? You understand me? See, we need our own institutions. That's what I'm leaning towards. We need our own institutions. See? All right. So now we get to the point where, okay, that is where the guidelines come in. Let's put some things into the guidelines that govern those things.
Structure.
That is what we have been doing.
Yeah, the structure.
A lot of ones, you're about guidelines, and then they will stop for things, say, let me at least pick it up and see what it say. They will start lick it down right away. Say, meanwhile, we look around, the whole globe, and all we see is confusion. A man over there so want 10 wife. A man over there so I deal with some works where immoral. You understand me? We look and we see, we start losing our children to Babylon system.
Yes.
Enough of them start work for the system because we don't have nothing set up for them. We don't have no institutions where we can say, come work for it, and we'll find a way to pay you. We don't have them thing there. So I cite that it was necessary for us to now revisit the guidelines, address certain things that were never addressed before. Okay. And so that's why I take up this initiative of going forward to the guidelines. And then once we do that, put it out there to the world, which is what we did.
And I give thanks.
Everyone now must just look and critique it if necessary, and then come forward to the table. So now that we have sealed up with that portion of the guidelines, okay, we're looking to have a ratification by African Liberation Day,
okay,
which is May 25th. Okay, so we're looking to tighten up our loose ends and things.
And I wanna commend the item.
I'm not hearing you, Kwasi. I think you're speaking, but I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear? Let me know in the comments if the item can hear. Can you hear
Kwasi,
right now?
You can hear, right? You can hear, right?
I hear the
I cannot hear you though.
Okay. Let me know in the comments if the item can hear, or if I need to
check your microphone, Kwasi. I'm not hearing you.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's on my end.
I'm asking the Lion Pride for the assistance.
Ask someone if it text you something to see if they are hearing you.
The audience hears, so it's the I side. All
right, Kwasi.
Yes.
Let me
go out and come back in. Go out and come back in.
I'm gonna go out and come back in. Okay.
Yes, I. Right. Yes, I. Yeah, man. Give thanks. So while Binghi Glen adjusts that, I just want to commend the brethren, because the revision of the guideline is an important work, because there's a lot of things that weren't addressed, like marriage, like different things in within the liberty. And what we have to understand is that when the elders were treading, the original Nyahbinghi elders born death, born hell. So them never feel like them would have dropped them flesh, you know what I mean? Because them fully caught up within that spiritual realm. Them had tried the Asian Sea. They were living together on the campsite. If you read the book of Acts, you would get a similar kind of vibes. The man, them had tried together, them had eat together. Everything they were doing together. Walk from Kingston to Montego Bay. If you go chant Binghi, them a chant for 7 days straight. Plant food, go up Binghi. You know what I mean? So it was a whole different. They had separated completely from the earthly realm, and they never thought they would see death. So there was no need to write down anything. They were there. They were living. It was a living tradition. Over the time now, we see the elders did start dropping flesh, becoming ancestors. So the need to preserve, you know, the core tenets of the order became apparent. And one of the things that history has taught us is that this is an evolution, because the Nyahbinghi started as a youth black faith with Elder Bongo Watu, evolved. The first elders were not Ital. They ate fish. All, you know, when you hear about Bongo Puru, Bongo Time, all of these different elders, these were not elders. You know, they still, a lot of them were fishermen, or they, you know, were doing whatever they were doing, but they were not fully plant-based livity. It was the youths them coming up now that came and brought that Ital Irates, you know, to the trad, and it evolved to the Nyahbinghi today is known as a Ital House or a Ital Order. So that means that there's change, you know, there's evolution, and there was a guideline, and it means that the guideline can be amended. And as the brethren say, they have sent it out for critique. So, you know, I would encourage the global Nyahbinghi family, instead of lick it down, read it, and, you know, provide the critiques. You know, I've heard from brethren they don't like it, think them need it, you know, is thing. But the reality is, if you don't have order, you have chaos. And if you just leave it to a man Irates, then you really start getting the loosey-goosey. A man does come and do what him feel like, you know what I mean? So these are the things that are necessary. And the chanting of Psalms. Can you hear Binghi Glen?
I can hear you now, my brother.
All right, yeah, the chanting of Psalms, these rituals, you know what I mean, that someone would have done these things, but these things are important to instill the discipline. You know what I mean? Because I remember as a young Ras memorizing the Psalms for the creed, and these things was part of the discipline. You have to read it, you have to understand what you're saying, do you agree? You know what I mean? So these are important part of the process of, you know, becoming an orderly man or a brethren of the Nyahbinghi Order. And these Psalms too, a lot of them are related to, you know, things like the coronation, you know, the chart of His Majesty, the life of His Majesty, you know, His Majesty may act as a fulfillment of some of these Psalms. So I think it's very important. And I was just saying when I came out that we have to really give thanks for that work of the revision of the guideline. And, you know, as we return home to Africa, we can't go home with the confusion. You know, and I'm glad you didn't spend too much time on the division in the house, because, you know, we need to move past these things on a firm foundation. As the item notice on this platform, I don't get into the mix-up and, you know, the controversies and, you know, those things I think we deal with in private. We come on the public platform. We have to acknowledge that there is division. It's not everybody together, but especially now in this Armageddon, we have to find a way to overcome the petty difference and to come together, because we don't have the luxury of so much numbers. And I always say this on the Tron calls. We might think that there are tens of thousands of or millions of Nyahbinghi family, but if we really get down, because I'm a big advocate of membership and being intentional, we may find out, say, is a chosen few, because that is what we chant. So we can't be, you know what I mean, surprised if we find out, say, when things really hit the fan, who is really, you know, gonna stand up within the order, you know, because a lot of people come to Nyahbinghi, it's an entertainment for them, you know what I mean? Them come 2 a.m, like it's a dance, you come bun 2 spliff, you rock, and you go to your yard, you know what I mean? That is a reality. And are all of those brethren Nyahbinghi brethren? I don't know. I'm not going to say what a man is, but if you're not involved with the work and moving the thing forward and creating the vision, I don't, you know, there have to be a standard, you know what I mean? Because, you know, a lot of ones burn the churchical part of it, you know what I mean? You have a lot of Nyahbinghi family in particular don't like that part there, but in the absence of that order, that defined order, again, you're leaving it to a man just come and it just go off the rails because there's no guideline and there's no boundary. So,
You know, Kwasi,
Yeah, go ahead.
I call like from back in the days when we used to be in Prospect Park. Just like you say, once come them, some people come, them bring them own drums and them want to participate, and them don't know if hold the heartbeat. Them don't know how if you lick the kettle the way how I and I decide to beat it. See, even the bass drums, them have their own way of doing things, you know. And so we, from year to year, we used to have problems with that. So these things are properly addressed within the guidelines. There's
Yeah.
certain limitations. You can't just come and feel like you
Just
have the
bring a
right.
djembe and then you just
Yeah,
start play over
yeah.
the kettle man and you
No,
just
yeah, no, we kind of blank that out. So they are making a good point. They are making a good point there.
No, there has to be a structure. But one of the things I want to talk about with the I, because I cannot have this reasoning with everyone, is this repatriation reasoning. From a early time the I has tried. Tell us about your first trip to Africa and the I movements when it come on to Ethiopia and why Ethiopia and what it's like on the ground in Ethiopia.
Yes, well, first, let me say this. I do apologize if one's interpret me mentioning things that took place in those days. It's only in light of say how we need to be more disciplined, that we need to know that we can't just have a free for all. I mean, and seriously, when you go to a bubble gathering, you can't come in there and just do as you like. It's either you stay on the outside and be an observer, otherwise you have to come in and do what they say you're supposed to be doing. You understand me? When 12 tribes have their meetings, saying and thing and them dance, if them say, boy, this dance is green dance, everybody have to come in green, so you can't come in a different color and get in there. You understand me? Now it's the same thing with Binghi. We say the man them have to lift them crown. You understand me? And the sister them cover them heads. You understand me? And the whole dress code part of it. We have to make sure say we keep those things. Now, what we spent for time dealing with in the first part was all the different ceremonies that we deal with and how you officially start a Nyahbinghi ceremony. Like lighting the mercy fire. What psalms do you say? Saying by the raising of the flag, which psalms would you chant, and what the anthem that you put with that, and then when you move from there and you go out to the judgment fire, and when you reach at the judgment fire, certain specific psalms are chosen to invoke the presence and raise up the devil. You understand me? And so the psalms are read, and then the chants that are chosen are ones that sort of blend in with setting the stage, see? And so when the fire light and then you come back in, and so it's very sequential, and making sure that we keep our order, so that see if we can get it to synchronize wherever we are on the face of the earth. We have things synchronized. That these are the steps that we take. Okay. I know there's certain things that we have to deal with in this age that were not there when the first guidelines were written. Like, for instance, social media. See, there was no World Wide Web that we had free access to like that. You understand me? Now in this time, we have all these social networks and platforms, and what is happening is that whereas they have good uses, we can utilize them for betterment, to keep in touch with each other and to handle and see how we can find solutions for the things that we face, whatever regions we're in. We just have to realize, saying that as we go along, our responsibility is big, and we have to make sure so that people understand that. So when you take up this responsibility, say you're going and you're using social media, saying that you recognize that it can do good as well as it can do evil. You see me I deal with saying, and the evil is usually it muddy the waters, it spread germs, it spread all the diseases. It's the evil that does that. See? So, you know, when like His Majesty would chant the psalm in his coronation and talk about gossipers and them people him not deal with. You understand me? So we never had to worry about social media, but now we do. And as unpleasant as it is, and much as we would like to ignore it, act like it don't exist, it does exist, and it does affect I and I. You understand me? When you hear man get on the line and start claiming that them have titles and things like that, and you don't even know where them get the title from. You understand me? When you go online and you hear people denigrating somebody else's name, okay, saying these things are not right, you know, and that is part of the reason why I even agree when I ask Simon to come forward and reason about my journey. It is too important. Now here it is. Now we went and we did the revisions of the guidelines, and ones that says Binghi Glen guidelines, and Binghi Glen rewrite the guidelines with I and all that sort of thing. It's nothing like so. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that we had many regions involved in this process. We had the Mother House, Jamaica. We had New York. We had DC. We had Maryland. We had Virginia. We had the other islands, Trinidad, Barbados, Virgin Islands, Antigua, St. Vincent, Grenada, UK, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Chile, Ecuador, Brazil, and the list just goes on and on. I just mentioned some of them, and these ones were all a part of the revisions. You see me I deal with? And as I always point out, is the greatest gathering and most diverse gathering of Nyahbinghi brethren and sisters from the world over. Okay? And we came together to deal with this thing. Now I go through this again because I know that you have certain people to me, who instead of picking it up, and then when you see something that don't look right, or make yourself a part of the process. It took us 3 years to do this in a Rasta. We never just get up and overnight do this thing. And during those 3 years, we constantly plead for ones from so many regions to come and be part of it. See? And they chose not to be a part of it. But the goals that we're trying to achieve, which is the unity of the Nyahbinghi Order globally, this guidelines revision is too important. And as I just point out, there's so many regions which have been a part of the process. Not just Mother House or ones in Jamaica. See, during the times when the elders did the first guidelines, that time it never, let me say, I shouldn't say never, the process had just started in sharing it with different islands and realizing, the different cultural differences and the things that people want to deal with where it's not a I and I and so forth. They found it necessary to set the guidelines. Said, so I and I have to know, say now in this time that so much has changed. There was a time when I and I but we knew that the largest gathering of Rastafari outside of Jamaica was in New York. It's not like that no more. You have gatherings. You see Africa? You see it big? All right. Right now, you have Southern Africa National Nyahbinghi Council down there. You understand me? And, it's Bongo G's that brought it down there with Bongo Time and so forth. And these ones have gravitated to the liberty. See? Now, I say, all of us need to come together to get this work done. So we put 3 years into it, and we've been trying to get ones and ones involved. You understand me? But for some reason, some people don't. And, the man them say, something higher. We put 3 years into this thing, We have to just get it done. See? And I tell the that we have had, like we say, every part of the globe involved. Every part of the globe. See? So now the time has come now where we say, let us now that initiative is sealed, and we're looking for May 25th for the full ratification. By then we're supposed to can say yes, this is the revised Nyahbinghi guidelines. Okay? And then we stop and we say, okay, so what happens now? Okay, so we look again and we say, repatriation has always been the cornerstone of our liberty. See? And I have seen over the years, I started going to Ethiopia in the late 90s. I started going to Ethiopia. But I was spending like a month at a time. And the reason for that is that them don't give you more than a month at that time. And what they might tell you, say, you can't, if you mess up your visa, and like say overstay a visa, like some man overstay them visa by months, sometimes years. It's a whole heap of money that you have to find if you can pay before you can legally leave America again. I mean, leave Ethiopia again. See? And some work was done through the members of the EWF and the rest of the community that was down there. The JRDC. And these ones were able to lobby the government to give us a break with them thing there, and they changed it. The government changed it where you no longer have to worry about paying those penalties. You understand me? Saying? And so yeah, we had it good for a couple of years. We had it good where ones could go in and get them papers, and I was one of those that did. See, but when you talk about now returning home to live, you have to have land, and to justify getting this land, you have to have the proper human resources in place. You have to have a proper vision. You have to have a proper plan that you're going to present to the government, then for them to justify and feel, say, yeah, you understand me? Let us give these Rasta people some land. We have to know what we're doing. See? Because if you're going over there as a farmer, see, and a lot of ones who are a part of DRAN are farmers. These were the ones that were showing interest in repatriation, even from back into 2020 when we were dealing with, pandemic and them thing there. You understand me? And I remember what it was like when flights stopped lifting up to go back. I couldn't get a flight to Ethiopia. You understand me? And every time I look around, I hear ambulance outside. You don't want to leave your house. I'll meet your ambulance, I pick up people and carry them to the doctor. And when we look on the TV, I see people, the dead body line up outside the hospital. They say all of them people are dead. If your relative get them check them and say you them have this thing, the COVID-19. Them take them and you can't even go in and physically have a look on them through window. You can't visit them. Those are some terrible times. And then I start fret because we say, how will we get our food? Give thanks, we had Whole Foods Market, which is an organic market for the most part. And we have another one, Trader Joe, and we had some little ways to get some food. But that is not self-sufficiency, brethren and sisters. No. That's not self-sufficiency.
No.
And this is when I say, come, my brothers, come, my sisters, let's go home. But we need more than farmers. We need plumbers. We need electricians. See, we need mason who can do mason work. We need planners. You understand me? And then we need someone who are nurses and doctors here who can live with us and this commune, who can provide for the needs of the people. So remember earlier when I said it's not just education, intellectual education. I talk about English, math, science, and so forth. You have to ground it in yourself as an African, and that is how you build your vision. You understand me? So if you have the proper mindset, saying, you know the things you have to do, you know everything that you will need to go home. Saying, when I look and I see a virgin like Bongo Sassy, him come to mind right away because him have a brilliant son. The man, I see the man in all the schools challenge, the high schools challenge there in Jamaica, and the man tear it up. See? No, how can a youth like that? I'll recognize his brilliance and give him an award, Haile Selassie award in education. See? So when him graduate from school now, I want something. Suppose him turn out to be a big scientist or whatever. We could definitely use a virgin like that. And that is called homegrown resources. See? So we have to understand, say we have to have the proper mindset from now. See? We have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. See, we have to repatriate our minds. See, we have to do fact-finding missions. We have to go Ethiopia and see what the place is like. We have to go different parts of Africa, like Burkina Faso, and see what it is like. See if
what were some of the differences that you noticed in Addis, going there from New York? You know what I mean? What were some of the things that maybe you thought it would be like and the reality?
Okay, well, some of the things that I saw, I wasn't surprised by it because, I remember, His Majesty, what he went through, how the people turn against him, even though him introduced them to freedom and help them to emancipate themselves to get proper education, give them a vision, give them positions and of authority to take care of certain works and things like that. And yet still, when the propaganda from the Soviet Union came in the country, a lot of people, they got impatient and they thought that could save them. But I don't know if they had them realize, that whole Soviet thing, it can't work in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has been mentioned in the Bible many, many, many times. Okay? Ethiopia has always been known as God people. See? So you're going to take a people like that now and bring something like Soviet thing where them no rate God. See? Most of them don't believe in God. Them have their own philosophies and opinions. How you can bring that into Ethiopia and think that? Let me tell you, man, that was the darkest time in Ethiopian history. When them students bring that to Ethiopia. And think about it during the time of His Majesty in the 70s and going forward even in the 40s and the 50s. Okay? Black people all over the world was looking to Ethiopia. Ethiopia was the one shining star, the one place that was not colonized, where I and I as black people could have a certain amount of freedom. See? I always share this little thing that things, it is different now. But I remember in what year was it? It was probably 2000 and I don't know, 2000 and a little bit, probably 2005 or 2003. And I went to Ethiopia and I went to Mascal Square to experience Mascal. And so the place is like this big square and millions of people converge on the area. And all you can see is red, gold, and green. And then you see all the different churches, Orthodox churches, and the Ark of Covenant that they bring there, and it was just a beautiful thing. And I try to capture it on video and climb on a wall on a video. And next thing, me feel like somebody beside me look, me see a white guy in my video. And then me hear something like somebody lick the wall. And I look, and the police boy look on the white boy and say, "Hey, what you doing up there? Get down." And the white boy have to get down. And him look on me and smile and salute and left me. Me don't know no way in the West where Rastaman I get them kind of respect. Me don't know no way in the West where me can get them kind of respect as a Rastaman. Saying my heart full up, man, when that happened. Okay? Those were some good days. But, after that, things just get away where, after His Majesty left the scene, and then, you had this set of people that come right after that, saying there's a whole set of the history books where you don't get them kind of teachings there. You never know who His Majesty was. You're lucky if you know who Menelik was. You might see the statue and you hear a little bit, but you don't know these things. You understand me? When you hear negative things, let them say you can't make a politician teach you your history, because them always going to paint it and give it to you the way how they want to give it to you. They never spoke about the good. They never talk about the I-munity that Emperor Menelik, you understand me? His Majesty and the two emperors prior to that, what they have done to bring about the unity of Ethiopia. Saying they don't teach the children that. They don't tell them none of those things. I've been to Ethiopia and talked to elders, and them said to me, them sit down and look at me. People, big business people too, You just go in all a plaza and people start questioning or start telling about Rasta and telling about Haile Selassie. And the people them sit down like little children and listen and learn. Because them not get that in a school.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know,
They don't know.
And so this it has caused a problem, because as the years and the decades go by, Rasta, trust me, what you find is that the generations are lost. There's a big void to tell them. Anything they're learning about that period of time from 76 coming up is pure things that was painted by politicians and say, yeah, this is what we want you them to learn in school. Teach them this. You understand me? It was all negative. Or when they would have their political meetings, the same folly them though. Saying, and so after a while, when you think about all that and what His Majesty went through, just like as His advent as Jesus Christ, we see when them crucify Jesus Christ, them crucify Him same way, them turn them back on Him, and them embrace ungodly liberty. You understand me? So anything going to happen after a while, you're going to pay the price. See? So when I look at it, I say, oh, these children growing up and not knowing nothing about this part of them history. It's a void right there, and nothing to replace it except the negativity of politicians. So now, what is happening in Ethiopia now is not what I experienced back in the late 90s coming up. Now is more about ethnicity. See, you have a set of people now who from a specific tribe. See, during the days of when the unity was created up to His Majesty time, it was mostly Amhara, Tigray, Gragi, the Oromo were there, but they were more in the countryside and didn't have much education, and didn't aspire much to but they increased in numbers. Okay. So then like maybe 5 years ago, I started hearing the talk, maybe a little bit longer, about how Oromo have been victimized, and there's going to be war because of that and so forth. And surely enough, after that, you start hearing about ethnic conflict.
there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into these works, and the economics, these ones are doing it volunteer. So we have to celebrate them, give them their accolades while they're here to hear it. So I just want to say, from a Lion Pride perspective, we give thanks for the I-Binghi Glen and the I steadfastness works on the chad, and we pray for success. We pray for the ultimate victory, and we want to see the Nyahbinghi continue to evolve. Continue to step up, continue, because we know the power that those harps play. We know the power when harnessing the right way, when everybody heartbeat. I look at it as a health thing too, because if you ever feel down in your vibes and you go to a good Nyahbinghi, it's like you get a supercharge. You come out of there,
course,
your heart synchronized with every other heart in that space, with the drum, everybody, because the heart is like a synchrometer. It sync up, So after a day, 2-3 days of chanting, everybody heartbeat in the same beat. So Nyahbinghi is a metaphysical healing.
Yeah, man. I can't even explain it, Rasta.
Man.
It come out like a Superman.
Yeah, man. You feel like you can fly. But that said, I do have to go to the study group. I want to give the eye a chance to just say a final sound to the global family. This is part one. We'll have the brethren come forward to talk more about repatriation and give us some updates on Tran. Definitely after the ratification of the guidelines, we want to have the item come forward and talk about that process and just keep the item updated. The item see that this platform, this is a hub for everyone who love Rastafari, who love the Pan-African family. This is the hub, the Lion Voice Network. We are providing that place where you can tap in, you can keep up to date, you can learn who some of the workers are. And again, my vision is that the 61,000, forgive I, because we're growing, the 61,000 people on this platform as Lion Pride would come together, even $10, and give it to a guest, that guest could come, either your own personal works or institution that you're working with, and I as a Lion Pride could all give $10 to this cause, and that would equal up to $600,000 US. That's the power that we can have if we come together as an economic force, as a Lion Pride. So I want to put that to the Lion Pride. I'm going to ask the I-Binghi Glen to let the people know if there's any way they can support the I or support Tran, or the I personal works, anything you want, talk about that people can support. This is the opportunity, and just give us the I final sounds.
All right. Yes, sir. Give thanks. Yes. First of all, let me acknowledge Kwasi and the Lion Pride. Give thanks for the opportunity to address the item. I just want to let them know that Tran Global remains that place where one can come together, one can vibe together, say fellowship, share information, and seek solutions to the many problems that face I and I. Is the Nyahbinghi Order, but I and I defend truths and rights for all poor people the world over. See? And definitely for every Rasta in every corner of the kingdom of Haile Selassie, Rastafari. So, Kwasi, I don't know if you have a way if you can put out a link or something, but for those who are interested, it won't be hard to find someone in your region who has access and who gets a link with Tran, and they can share the link with you. And once you're there and we can send you invite, then we will do that. Or if we can add you to the platform we have, which is on WhatsApp, then yeah, we would add that person. But like the version says, still, we don't.
Let them know this is a Nyahbinghi platform. It's not an open platform. So
yes. I was about to say that.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I was about to say
Let's
it's a
clarify.
Nyahbinghi platform. I am a believer that to help someone else to walk, I have to be on my feet first of all and be capable of helping someone up to move and walk. Okay? The Nyahbinghi Order has had some work to do and still have some other work to do. And we can walk and chew gum. So while we are help someone to walk at the same time, we are help ourselves to continue to evolve, to grow. See? So even though it's not a platform for any and everyone, if I want, let's put it this way: once if I want coming in as a Nyahbinghi or seeking to know about it, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. And then once we, like any rally call, like say Kwasi, would I say in putting together a togetherness with all the mansions. Yeah, I ready for sending representatives to come in and be a part of that process. But like me say, the focus in Tron right now is on the Nyahbinghi Order globally. See, we need a global secretariat right now. So that is one of the things that we have to work on. I mentioned membership. We have to deal with membership. So when it comes to electing ones to position and things like that, you can't have somebody out of nowhere come in or a group of people out of nowhere come in and a push agenda to put them virgin or sister in. Saying so we need membership. Membership is important. And we make the sacrifice in so many ways in life. We if our children are in school, them have our name, them have our address, them have everything about it. If we want a passport, same thing. We want a driver's license, same thing. So why can't we do it for I and I self? See? For I and I upliftment. See? So yeah, so Tran Global is there. Right now we're meeting every other Sunday. Okay, I shouldn't say every other Sunday, but second and fourth Sunday of each month. Okay, so we're asking ones who are interested to be a part of it. And if you don't have the link, Kwasi can share the link with ones and ones. I would even encourage him to share it in the Lion Pride group so ones will know. And I look forward next time to really reason about the vision that is needed for repatriation. Because, as an individual, I decided in my mind, so listen, it's home I want to go. And so I made the move. Okay. Anyone else who interested can be around I. Then we can build something together. Okay. But in the meantime,
Iron Vice. Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about embrace many. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, well, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see their city streets them flood. When the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me not budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. That's why them no like the light when you smile. That's why them no like how your body curve. The way how you dance keep on Babylon nerve. Them no know how the Almighty you serve. Want to be a queen, so a king you deserve. And I'll be by your side when things get worse. When the city flood cause the dam just burst. When you can depend on no state or church. Firm like a man in an Haile Selassie first.